Hey everyone, this is Walter, and we're back here with more of Russell Greer's book. If you don't know, I'll link to the series, but Russell is a man mostly known for trying to sue Taylor Swift and other various celebrities. Here's a list of his lawsuits, in fact. Well, let's just get back to it. Russell Greer's book, Why I Sued Taylor Swift Part 6. 1 star. A badly written glimpse into the mind of a narcissistic stalker. The very first sentence of this book, after the cartoon intro in which Taylor Swift cuts the author with a katana, contains an improper colon. The grammar and punctuation don't get any better from there. The lack of proper editing is painfully obvious and makes the book seem more like a particularly ungifted middle schooler's attempt at an essay than a polished novel written by an actual adult. Unprofessional writing aside, the subject matter is also in extremely poor taste. Mr. Greer seems to believe he is owed things by women he has never even met, and feels justified in making his feelings their problems. It is disturbing and reprehensible. The only reason to ever read this book is to gain insight into the mind of a complete narcissist. So if you have an interest in aberrant psychology, by all means give this a try. Otherwise, take a page from Taylor Swift and steer clear of Russell Greer at all costs. Hopefully that review serves as a good intro. Last time we stopped at his famous line. Some people go to jail and find God. For me, I went to jail and found Taylor Swift. Well, let's see where this new interest leads. Things started to look up in my life after I had witnessed the incredibility of Taylor Swift. Her songs became the soundtrack of my life that helped me get through my darkest days. With the skill of a good lawyer, my stay in jail was only 2 weeks long. The court wanted me held in the jail until after the 19th to make sure that no disasters would happen. 3 months after that, the felony charge was suddenly dismissed by the judge with no apparent explanation. In addition, I had enough credits to graduate high school early, and so I was given my diploma and asked never to step a foot back at the high school ever again, which was fine by me. Luckily, my employer held my job for me too. I was a free man once again. No convictions were ever ruled on me, though I was left with a tarnished reputation. Those who were once my friends steered clear of me. That was probably the only good thing the whole ordeal brought me. It showed me who my true friends were. While I was still figuring out who I was supposed to be, one thing was clear. I needed to get out of small-minded Evanston, Wyoming. Before I knew it, I was enrolled at a college in Salt Lake City, Utah, with an eye towards becoming a paralegal, and never returned to that judgmental town. Judgmental? I mean, after that stunt he pulled? He committed a crime that made him look like the angry incel he was. Who wouldn't judge someone based on that? During my first semester of college in the summer of 2010, the warden's question still followed me. Who is Russell Greer? Sleepless nights plagued me as the question rattled around in my head. I was trying to forget about that brief dark spot of my past. People in Evanston still thought of me as a terrorist. I had a sense of guilt for what I had done. My parents still wanted me to go on a mission. They threatened to withhold funding for college if I didn't go. Valuing my education and wanting to get rid of my past, I felt that a mission would help me discover the answer to the question, who is Russell Greer? Before I knew it, the headquarters of the Mormon Church sent me a letter in the winter of 2011 and ordered me to go and become an American Sign Language/English missionary in Mesa, Arizona. I was sure to find myself there. I actually feel bad for Russell when he has to go through this crap. It's one of his few problems that wasn't his fault. Flash forward a year and a half later. "You Mormon bastards," a drunk old man shouted, firing a shotgun into the warm nighttime Arizona sky. "Get off my property before you end up dead." My mission companion and I had simply knocked on his door to share a message with him. We did not expect this. Scared for our lives, we ran through his weedy, unkept yard. My companion tripped and fell, muddying his white button-up shirt. I hurried and lifted him up, and we continued running for our lives. After we got a safe distance away, we stopped to catch our breath. "This is bullshit, man," I told my companion as I breathed deeply. "I didn't sign up for this." "Elder Greer," my companion told me, "the Lord is blessing us for this." "Blessing us how?" I retorted. "We could have gotten killed back there." The apostles in the New Testament had stones thrown at them. My companion tried reassuring me. I rolled my eyes at him. "Look, Elder, I only came on a mission to find myself and to make my family happy. I've given my family a false impression that I'm doing some sort of good out here, but I still haven't found myself," I explained as I paced back and forth. "I should be in college right now. I want to be a screenwriter and a songwriter, but instead I have to devote every waking moment to some crap I don't even think is true." "It is true," my companion argued with me. "The Baptists say their religion is the true church. The Jews, the Muslims, they all say the same thing. They have the truth," I argued back. I haven't found any truth. The only truth I have found is that this isn't the path for me. So what do you want to do? My companion asked in a serious manner. I want to go home, I said yearningly. I just want to be a regular person again. My companion understood my plight, and so he called the mission president. In all honesty, 3 months into my mission, I decided a mission wasn't what I was supposed to do. I tried to escape the mission on a Greyhound bus, but ended up getting caught by my mission president. Through brainwashing and extortion, the mission president and my family held me on the mission under duress. I saw modest success with converting people to the church, but it didn't make me happy. I couldn't teach a lesson without almost busting up laughing at what I was saying. It almost felt like I was in jail all over again. Mormon missionaries are required to abide by a strict schedule and strict rules. No electronics, no communication with loved ones, no staying up to date on current affairs. How I managed to stay on the mission for 21 months was anyone's guess. As we drove to the office of the mission president, I turned on the radio. Though we weren't allowed to listen to music, my companion let me. The disc jockey had finished playing Taylor Swift's song, Mean. That Taylor Swift, what a dame, the disc jockey said coolly. She's in the news again, this time helping a bullying victim out. As I listened to the disc jockey, I remembered seeing Taylor Swift on the jail TV. She really did seem like a great person. It seemed that Taylor had always been there, through the hardest parts of my life with her music. I guess that's why she would mean so much to me. 2 years later, in 2014, I was back in college. I was a full-time student and held 2 part-time jobs. I only had a few semesters left of college, and then I would start looking for work in my career field of law, but I wasn't satisfied that I was on the path of discovering who I was. Yeah, just a casual 2-year time skip in which he got no closer to Taylor Swift. I have to assume he's going to ramp up his efforts soon. I continued to have a longing for the entertainment industry. I had had a taste for the theatrics ever since I was a kid. Ever since I was young, I had been playing some sort of instrument. While I was physically limited in expressing myself, music helped me convey my inner emotions. Writing has also been one of my strengths, and has helped me express myself. I had been writing so many stories for so long, that I forget when I even started writing creatively. Because of my disability, my path to the entertainment industry has been hard. While I can write and pitch my stories easily, recording my music has been hard since I can't clearly express myself, and finding people to read music is next to impossible. For instance, several times in college I had formed small music groups, quasi-bands, but it never really went anywhere, just because nobody understood my vision, nor could they read music. Other times I found people who understood me, but they wanted to rewrite my songs from pop rock to soft, cheesy rock. At times I felt sick to my stomach because I knew I had gifts that I needed to share with the world, but I didn't know how to express my talents. I had auditioned for the show America's Got Talent and did a very unique act, a variety act about overcoming disabilities. Sadly, the casting call judges passed me up because of my disability, per conversations with executives of the production company for the show. Oh, good thing he provided a source. I'm sure everyone's aware, but the full title of the book is Why I Sued Taylor Swift and How I Became Falsely Known as Frivolous, Litigious, and Crazy. I could only assume this is why he didn't mention trying to sue America's Got Talent. That makes him look a little frivolous, litigious, and crazy, doesn't it? While I was on my break at my night job, a janitorial job at the college, I pulled up Google News on my iPod, and the top trending story was of Taylor Swift, who had accepted 4 prom dates back to back. Apparently 3 of the boys saw one of the boys ask her, so it inspired the other 3 to ask her. It was such an odd yet fascinating article. Inspiration hit me as I read through the article, and a plan began to formulate in my head. What if I could stand out and impress Taylor Swift? From what I could find, these boys had done minor things to go to prom with Taylor. I could do something 10 times better. I wasn't just trying to flatter her. Ever since I saw her music video, I had purchased all of her albums and would listen to them until 1 a.m. at my night job. I wanted to thank her for her music by doing something special for her. Russell's like, hey, maybe I could be inspired to invite her to prom. But wait, I'm not in high school. That's where you should figure out this is all kind of creepy, but no, he's gonna go all in on the idea anyway. I remembered seeing a Pepsi commercial that had Taylor Swift writing music on sheet paper. Surely she could help my ideas come to life, but I would have to be head and shoulders above everybody else if this were to work. It would have to be more than a cardboard shout-out or an amateur video. With my little experience of trying to get into the entertainment industry, I was familiar with unsolicited policies. I imagined that she probably had unsolicited policies in place, so I couldn't send her a song for her to use or consider. There seemed to be an exception to that rule. What if I sent her a fan-made song that just talked about how awesome she was, as a sort of gift? I had seen her showcase and accept gifts before via her Twitter account. The musical gift would be so unique that she would be flattered by it, and also at the same time, it would show my music talent. It was then and there, on that summer night in 2014, that I decided I was going to impress and win over Taylor Swift. With Taylor Swift, the warden's question could finally be resolved, as acceptance by a celebrity would give me a sense of purpose and meaning. Hey Russ, why not start by getting regular people to accept you instead of fleeing to a new city? Also, I like how he doesn't think people write songs to Taylor Swift telling her how awesome she is. No, that's an original idea by Russell, don't steal. It looks like we're finally getting to the real meat and potatoes here. Chapter 3. Chapter 3. The winner gets Taylor. It was a long drive, but the Swift family had finally arrived at their new home. A nearly $1 million priced lakefront house in a suburb of Nashville, Tennessee, after having left their old home in Pennsylvania. Scott and Andrea Swift, the parents, unloaded their U-Haul. Their oldest child and only daughter, Taylor, a 14-year-old blonde, stepped out of the family SUV and surveyed her new home. Scott, a banker, had just made the largest gamble of his life. He had invested everything on furthering his young teenage daughter's musical career. Neither of them would know it then, but Taylor would go on to become bigger than the Beatles. That's huge, considering that John Lennon once said that his band was more popular than Jesus himself. I'm not even sure if that's supposed to be a joke or not. It's just kind of a random reference that he felt the need to explain. Taylor Swift could do no wrong, it seemed. Album after album, song after song, produced hit after hit. While her music always charted at the top of the charts and broke records and garnered all kinds of awards, one thing never stuck: her love life. It seemed that Taylor was photographed with a new male friend weekly. Swift went through so many relationships that she began to be the butt of running jokes. When you're famous like her, you get to play the field and be picky. Then in 2014, Swift began a serious relationship with music DJ Calvin Harris. Gossip magazines and the news followed their every move. It seemed that Calvin was destined to be Mr. Taylor Swift. Unsurprisingly, in 2016, their relationship ended after 15 months. According to some accounts, their relationship crashed and burned. Here's my favorite Taylor Swift dating joke. It's an Onion article. Taylor Swift apparently now dating Garfield creator Jim Davis. And even that is less outlandish than her dating Russell Greer, I'd like to know. The latest issue of People's Magazine's cover displayed it all on the rack of the grocery store's checkout stand. I stared at the cover of the magazine in awe. It had been 2 years since I began my quest of wooing Taylor Swift. Good God, how does he manage to talk about wooing Taylor Swift without realizing how stupid he sounds? A lot had happened in my life since that night I was inspired to reach out to Taylor. I had graduated from college and did 2 internships as a paralegal. One at the city courthouse where I helped with divorces. The other was at the Attorney General's office. 2 months after graduating with my paralegal degree, I was offered a job in an intellectual property law firm. I was excited to work in a law firm because I would finally have enough money to produce the song about Taylor Swift. Before this law firm had offered me a job, I had spent months interviewing at different firms while working 2 part-time jobs and had been rejected because lawyers feared my disability hindered my ability to do the job. Job discrimination is real, and it stings like a bee. I mean, Russell's disability makes it hard to understand him, so for example, any job that requires him to make a lot of phone calls is probably not his best fit. I'm not sure what being a paralegal entails exactly, but I do know that anytime anyone rejects this guy for any reason, it's because of discrimination against his disability, according to himself. Right before the job offer, I had started a GoFundMe and only raised $150 out of my goal of $2,000. It was a letdown because I produced a video for the fundraiser and put so much effort into raising money. With my financial goal not met, it was up to me to raise that money. Surprisingly, once I made my efforts public of wanting to woo Taylor Swift, I was met with hate and scoffing. Internet trolls would message me or leave comments on my pages and tell me, "You're too ugly for Taylor." Other messages would say, "Why are you so special to want her attention?" The worst messages consisted of suggestions that I should give up and kill yourself. Even some of my friends laughed at the idea of me getting her attention. Those messages hurt me so much. They were random and unprovoked, but they invigorated me and emboldened me to get this song to Taylor. It wasn't just the song I wanted Taylor to have. It was my story of trying to discover myself and trying to rise above my disability. I knew, based on her past publicity stunts, that she would like my song and be inspired by my story. There was never a doubt in my mind that this wouldn't work because I relied on her representations, that all I had to do was stand out and she would help me. Ah, geez. Imagine producing an entire video and not getting handed $2,000 for it. What kind of world is this? I think I'm going to cut it off here, and I'll try to be back sooner next time. A lot sooner. If you like the video, please give this a like. If you have something to say about Russell, or about my content in general, make sure you let me hear it in the comments. I'll be here reading them while the video's new. If you're new here, consider subscribing. Join the 3 people who found me acceptable this month. And finally, big thanks to my amazing patrons. I'll be shouting them out very soon here. They support me more directly over on Patreon, and it's incredibly helpful. I haven't decided what I want to do for a Christmas video, but I have decided that I want to make one for once, so at least there's that. Have a great day, everyone, and don't try to tell me the song about a disabled incel janitor ending up with Taylor Swift isn't inspirational.